Hey everybody, it's time for another Redneck review with me, Robert, the Red Prince, and we're doing a Marvel today, the New Avengers, number 12. It's been 1 year since then, and this is basically a epilogue to the Infinity Saga. If you are wondering what went on in the Infinity Saga, please check back for the other reviews. Our story starts off in Wakanda at the Necropolis, being visited by Queen Shuri, the new Black Panther Queen of Wakanda. She's looking for T'Challa, and she comes to tell him that the war is over. You know, where were you? He said, I had to stay here and take care of everything. I had to take care of the Necropolis. There are things here that you don't know or understand. And I've been following this part of the Black Panther ever since A vs. X. It's just gone from bad to worse for one of my favorite consecutive heroes. And most of his men come up from Shuri's, their honor guard, and says, I think he lies, my queen. I think without his crown, he has become a coward. Maybe he always was one. And, T'Challa is not going to accept that. He says, she may be queen, but I am still your king. She may rule, but I am still king. And he tells her, that what happened here, I had to stay and take care of stuff over here. And all of a sudden, T'Challa's personal honor guard show up and tell him, he lies, my queen, Shuri. He lies. And he tells him, how dare you? He says, how dare us? We loved you more than we loved ourselves, king. How could you? And we find out why they're so mad is because T'Challa is now a member of the New Avengers and he's been consorting with Namor. There's been a war, a huge, huge hatred between Wakanda and Atlantis for the last several issues. And because of that, he's been declared an enemy. They actually sent kill crews to Atlantis to kill every Atlantean. And because of this, T'Challa finds that he's lied to his sister. She's trying to get him to explain this to her. Tell me why. Why? He says, and because of the nature of what happened in this one, they can't tell him about the Doomsday weapons. He can't tell them about the Illuminati holding, trying to fix the dimensional rift. Just can't do it. So what happens is T'Challa, the Black Panther, the former king of Wakanda, has been banished from Wakanda. I know it's blowing me away too, and brother and sister are no longer friends. He is just an outcast by everyone's standards. And all of a sudden we see Namor just clapping. Very well done. T'Challa tells him, you can't be so bent as to think this is the time to taunt me, Namor. You simply can't be that stupid. Oh, I'm not taunting you, T'Challa. I'm applauding your bravery. And it's bravery I didn't know it myself. I am fully capable of seeing it now. I am seeing so very clearly these days. See, you know what I know. And what is that? That it's like to face death having already lost everything that you hold dear. You spent your entire life building a perfect kingdom, and now you've been cast out. You could have told her many things. What we were doing, the nature of it, and you could have said, Namor is here now, I can give him to you. But you did not, because you knew what we used to call life has very little worth these days. Welcome to the very edge. It's this awesome moment between these two characters who used to be the best of friends, the closest of brothers, and now they're enemies. To me, that is sad because even though I don't like Namor, I do have the utmost respect for T'Challa, who has ruled Wakanda and he's never had his people they've never been hungry. They've never been without. So that's a good king. That's a good ruler. I wish we had a ruler like that in America today. Anyway, we move on. The story goes on. We're just basically touching base with everyone here. after the events of Infinity, after the Tangeranian bombs went off, Black Bolt has been left severely diminished. His powers are not what they used to be. He's no longer that Omega level threat that we all remember and love. But he's still one of the most powerful people in there. His brother is trying to help him. Maximus, the Mad, is trying to help him figure out how to get his powers back. So this is what he says. Say, brother, let's make a deal. You don't say a word, and I'll lie right through my teeth. No one will ever know the difference. So I think there's going to be a lot of infighting between Maximus and Black Bolt. And we might actually get to hear what Black Bolt has to say about it. Basically, we're moving back to the Sanctum Sanctorum. And Doctor Strange is trying to figure out a way to stop the dimensional divide, I think. And he's using all of his powers to take it. He's tired of being the one in the shadows, the one who's just taking orders from everybody. It's I'm kind of like that. I'm actually hoping that Doctor Strange takes a more active role in the Marvel Universe. I think they're going to be doing a movie on him soon. That's not to say I want him to do it just because there's a movie coming out, because I don't. I like for them to take a character who isn't going to get a movie and do their very best with him, that they can turn into a real awesome media device without a movie. I love the movies. I am a huge diehard fan of the Marvel the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But even I think they're stretching it a little thin as far as how they've got it. But we move back to the last three members of the new Avengers: Beast, Reed Richards, and Iron Man. You know, they're trying to figure out how they can keep this stuff from going on. And in the new Avengers, they've had a extra dimensional prisoner who tried to come in there and attack the rest of the world. Her name is not Mock. What is it? Anyway, I don't remember her name. I have been reading this. She just has not been a particularly important character up until now. They're trying to figure out what's going on with the dimensional rift here. And they're showing her that Thanos, the one that was about ready to kill her and take the stuff, is locked on their side. They're keeping him alive. They're keeping that intergalactic despot alive. That's the problem with the Illuminati. They are the greatest people on the planet. They have the best of intentions, but they should not be the ones in charge. That's the way I feel about it, even though Iron Man's one of them. And their prisoner makes a very good point. How much longer do you think that's going to last? I don't know. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll figure this out and do what we do. They're talking about the dimensional rifts, basically, how everything is closing up. And she tells him, you've gone through nothing. He goes, that's not true. We've gone through, these builders who were intent on taking over the galaxy. They're in every space. She goes, ha ha ha. The builders, you say? How very ominous. That is indeed some threat. He tells her there are worse things out there than these so-called builders. Iron Man's like, I don't think you understand what we're talking about. Perhaps you don't know what all us and our friends went through. He says, you were facing one race that is only in so many spaces at once. What you're facing right now is someone who can tear your entire universe apart. Just because they can. Because they feel in their hearts that it'll satisfy some need for them. And he tells them, you don't understand, there are threats much wider than what you've already faced. That person in the glass right there is nothing. Your builders were nothing. There is something worse out there. You fret builders, but what if it had been the map makers, not just their stuttering mayors, but the masters themselves? What if it had been the Black Priests? All these other groups she can think of that are 100 times worse. And all of this, like children playing, what you just went through it only had the appearance of a finality. It lacked the effect. That ends now. Empires have collapsed. Kings have fallen. Men have perished. Worlds have ended, and that's just the beginning. Everything dies. it's kind of this scary moment because we all saw what happened in Infinity, and not that we haven't seen that before and we're a little desensitized from that, but I'm hoping from this that they create some newer characters, someone we can really be afraid of, other than, like Doctor Doom or Thanos. Now, Thanos is a block of ice. Anyway, guys, this has been the final conclusion to the Infinity. I'm glad we're finally over these Marvel events, because I'm very big on... I've got a very bad case of event fatigue. But all in all, I'm going to give the Infinity... New Avengers, issue number 12, the epilogue to the Infinity, a 3.9 on the story, because it had too many advertisements. It wasn't a standalone story, and personally, when I want a book to end or an event, I want to end the last issue. I don't want an epilogue, or if I get an epilogue, I want it in the same book. So all in all, it was a good story. Good written. There was a great moments between Namor and the Black Panther. But, again, it's another thing I have to buy. So, and it's a $3.99 book. So, everyone, that's your Redneck review from Robert. A 3.9 on the story. I'm going to give it a 5 on the art, because there are some great shots of art in here of T'Challa and Iron Man, and he's in my absolute favorite armor. So, there it is, guys. Thank you so much. This has been Robert for Redneck Reviews. Bye-bye.